Welcome back. In our previous lesson, we explored the key elements that make up Ansible playbooks. Now, it is time to put that knowledge into practice and build our first playbook together. Do you still remember the Apache web server example from the previous lesson? In this lesson, we will create something similar, and I will guide you through each step. For this lab, I provisioned an Ubuntu machine to be my Ansible target to install Apache web server on it. You will find the background file for this lesson in our course repository. Before we start developing our first playbook, let's check the inventory file for this lesson. So here is the inventory file. The inventory file has two groups. First one for the web servers and the second one for databases. Under each group, I have defined the server name, host IP, and the private key, which will be used to authenticate with the target server to automate our tasks on it using Ansible. Now let's create our first playbook. So I will execute touch examples first underscore playbook.yaml, and this command will create a YAML file with the name first underscore playbook. Now let's edit the file using Visual Studio Code. Now let's start developing our first playbook. As I mentioned earlier, the objective of this lesson is to create a playbook to automate Apache installation on Ubuntu target server. As we learned together from previous lessons, let's start the file with 3 dashes. Next step is to define which hosts or servers this playbook will target. We will target web servers group hosts, so let's type dash then hosts, and the name of the group of web servers is web servers. And of course, this group match the group name here in inventory.ini file. Since some of our tasks might need root privileges, let's include become true. This tells Ansible that it might need to use a command like sudo to get the job done. Now let's type tasks, which will include all tasks needed for this playbook to be executed on the web server target servers. Note that the indentation of tasks must be on the same level as hosts and become. Let's write our first task to install Apache. I will take 2 spaces, then dash, then space, then name. Now let's provide a name for our task. The name for this task will be install Apache web server on Ubuntu. To install Apache web server on Ubuntu from the terminal, you will execute apt install apache 2. In Ansible, we have the apt module to manage packages on Ubuntu. So, under the name, let's type apt. Ansible has a lot of modules which we will cover in future lessons. Now let's provide the package name we want to install to the apt module. So under apt, I will take 2 spaces, then name Apache 2. I want the latest available Apache package for Ubuntu, so I will type state latest. If you want the task to remove Apache from a server, then the state here will be absent. Now let's make our website a bit more dynamic. We want to put some simple content in the web server's default file. Ansible's copy module is excellent for tasks like this. So let's add our second task for this playbook. So on the same level as the first task, I will add my second task. So I will provide name, then the name for the second task will be update index.html, content. I will use copy module, so I will type copy here. Let's set the content of the index.html file to a specified value. So under copy, I will take 2 spaces, then I will type content. And the content will be, this site is managed by Ansible, updated on, then I will provide the date time in ISO 8601 format. Now I need to define the destination file which I will set the content for. So let's type dest, and our destination will be /var/www/index.html. Of course, all parameters you can use with Ansible modules can be found in Ansible documentation for the module. We will talk about the documentation in future lessons, and I encourage you to read the documentation for modules you will use in your playbooks to learn more about the module capabilities. Now let's go back to our update index.html task. As you may know, whenever you make a change in index.html, Apache Service Restart is required to apply the changes. So, for this specific task, we want to ensure that Ansible will be notified to restart the Apache web server when this task executed successfully. So let's add notify, and note that the indentation of notify must be on same level as the module name. Now let's type restart Apache. You can type whatever message here for notify. This message will be passed to the handlers. Think of the handlers, as we mentioned before, as special tasks activated when something else changes. Now let's add our handlers. So I will type handlers. And notice that handlers on the same level as tasks. So the handlers should be on the same level as tasks. So I will make it on same level as tasks. As I mentioned, handlers are special tasks, so it follows the same structure as tasks. Let's start with the task name. So let's provide a name for the first handler's task here, and the name will be restart Apache. If you noticed, the task name is the same as notify message. So whatever you write in notify line, it must be the same for handler's task name. For this handler's task, I will use the service module, which is used to manage services. So let's type service here. Now, what is the name of the service I want to manage? Guess what? The service I want to manage is Apache 2. So let's type name Apache 2. What I want to do with Apache 2 service, I want to restart it. So let's type state restarted. Let's save our file. Now we are ready to execute our playbook to automate installation of Apache web server, creating an index.html file with a specific content, then notify the handlers to restart Apache when the update index.html content task executes successfully. To execute our playbook, let's type ansible playbook, then provide the inventory file path. So I will type examples, then inventory, then the path to our first playbook file. Now press enter. And as you can see, the Ansible playbook executed successfully. I didn't get any error message, which is a good sign that everything is fine. So as you can see here, it executed first the task install Apache web server on Ubuntu, and change it here means that this task changed something on web1.example.com. And of course, what have changed here is installation of Apache web server. then the second task executed successfully, also it has a state changed, then Ansible executed the handlers restart Apache, and also the state is changed. From the play recap, you can know what has been changed, like how many tasks changed on the target host. You can know if there is any target host that is unreachable. You can know how many tasks failed, and of course, if any task failed, you will see an error message and you will start troubleshoot this error. And by that, I can say congratulations, you have successfully created your very first Ansible playbook. This is a fantastic start, and from here, the possibilities are endless. Think about all the repetitive tasks you do and how Ansible could help you automate them. In our upcoming lessons, we will explore more modules, powerful variables, and advanced techniques to make your playbooks even more effective. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson.